Christy Fontanilla of FAS Bookkeeping and Tax Services, and welcome to this video regarding the latest updates on the PPP loan that's included on the Consolidated Appropriations Act 2021 that was signed into law on December 27, 2020. There's a lot of good news for small business here, especially those for struggling small business owners. So on this video, I will just really focus on the PPP loan for the second round, and also some changes on the PPP loan forgiveness application. I will also have some updates on most common question about the EIDL loan advance, if that is forgiven or not, and also if you can deduct the payroll expenses or other operating expenses that you use the PPP loan. So there's some changes to that as well. So let's get started. So the first point here is there's additional eligible expenses that we can use the PPP loan aside from payroll, rent, and utilities, right? So what are those additional eligible expenses? So covered operations expenditures, so other operating expenses like software, cloud computing, and other human resources and accounting needs. The second one is covered property damage costs. So there's a lot of small business owners, retail store or restaurant that's been affected with some of the public disturbances that occurred in 2020. And so with this second round of PPP loan, you can actually use that to cover for those expenses that was not covered by insurance. Covered supplier costs like expenditures to a supplier pursuant to a contract or a purchase order, or supplier costs of perishable goods that can be made before or during the life of the loan. And then lastly, you can use the PPP loan for worker protection expenditures, so personal protective equipment. And so that's additional eligible expenses that you can use the PPP loan proceeds for. The next one is the selection of covered period for forgiveness. So here it's basically the same. It will allow the borrower to elect a covered period ending between 8 and 24 weeks after origination. So that's the same thing as what we had before. Section 7, they have simplified the application for loans under 150,000. Before, there was actually a simplified version of the PPP loan application form, which is just one page for those that have a PPP loan under 50,000. Now they have expanded that to loans under 150,000. So that's again another good news for small business owner because it's less intimidating completing that loan forgiveness application form. Now, this is really kind of the key changes or updates on the PPP loan. Section 11 highlights the criteria to qualify to take on PPP loan second draw. So first is it will be a maximum amount of 2 million. Those that employ not more than 300 employees have used or will use the full amount of their first PPP loan and can, this is really very important, demonstrate that at least 25% reduction in the gross receipts. So your business declined by at least 25% comparing 2020 versus the same period of 2019. So you can select what quarter you would like to demonstrate the reduction, first, second, or third quarter of 2020 compared to the same period of 2019, and it has to be at least 25% reduction. The loan forgiveness, if you can demonstrate that you've used the loan proceeds for those eligible expenses and you've used 60% of that for payroll costs, then that would still be eligible for forgiveness. So that didn't change. Now, EIDL Advance. I get a lot of question here on the EIDL Advance. So if you remember previously, if you already applied for your PPP loan forgiveness, you have to put in your PPP loan amount, and then you need to put in your EIDL loan advance. So if you have a loan of 50,000 and you have an advance of 10,000, then the lender will deduct the 10,000 from the 50, and then the net forgivable amount is only 40,000. But with this act, it repealed that EIDL advance deduction. So what it's saying is it repealed that provision. So the advance will not be deducted from your PPP loan forgiveness amount. And the SBA will issue rules that ensure borrowers are made whole if they receive forgiveness and their EIDL was deducted from that total forgiveness amount. Now, on the covered period for new PPP loans, that will extend through March 31st, 2021. And the last one here is probably very welcoming in terms of the business deduction. So before, the IRS is saying if you use the PPP to pay for payroll, rent, utilities, that loan that's been forgiven is not taxable, but you cannot take a business deduction for those expenses that you paid out of the loan proceeds. So with this clarification, they're saying that no amount shall be included in the gross income for the forgiveness of the loan. So that is still not taxable. And then at the same time, there's no deduction shall be denied or no tax attribute shall be reduced. So in layman's terms, we can still report those expenses that we paid out of the loan proceeds as a business deduction. So there you go. Those are what I've seen as the key highlights of the changes on the PPP loan application for the second round, and also the loan forgiveness, particularly on the EIDL advance, and also on the tax treatment of those loan proceeds that's been used for business expenses. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.